Well, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the 11 a.m. Monday morning marketing webcast. I am your host, Chris Bernard. I wonder if you guys use these blue glasses. They're supposed to do a better job of kind of eliminating the extra blue light that's coming from your screen and things like that. And I actually have noticed my eyes feel a little stressed, and it's kind of weird, a little less stressed. It's a little strange thinking about it. It actually seems like it seems sharper, which is really weird. So I don't know. I got this as a gift. I don't know exactly even the manufacturer. Maybe you guys can see that. And there's like three. Kind of reminds me of an American Airlines kind of, or United Airlines kind of logo. But anyway, just figured I'd ask to see how that works. All right. So I promise you kind of an interesting show today. We are talking about maximizing earned media coverage. We have two clients specifically, actually last week, that had received some notable media coverage. Okay, one on Yahoo and another in a fairly well-known trade publication for their specific industry. So one of them is a financial services, financial advisor firm, and the other one is a manufacturing firm that does the trailers and things like that. So again, great stuff going on. CEOs and the top brass are really excited about this visibility. They're looking at their marketing teams and their agencies to go ahead and try to kind of expand on that, right? To be able to do that. One of the directives we're actually getting from them directly is to say, you guys need to link our sites. So there's positives and negatives to that. So we're going to walk through some of this stuff today because we want to dismantle some of the confusion that's out there. So the question is, maybe a little bit of background, right? So reciprocal links, for those of you that are kind of new to this, especially as I'm talking to management, because sometimes, look, this game of SEO plays and changes on a regular basis. So let's talk about what a link is, okay? So let's keep this simple. Many of you, the top brass, are saying, oh my goodness, we need to get a link. So this might be our site. So here's the notable site. Let's give it a crown of gold and make it kind of unique, make it crown, make it shine. Oh, goodness gracious. And this could be Yahoo or another trade publication site or just some glory that has blessed our specific brand, company, agent, whatever, right? So this beautiful, beautiful PR piece or article, featured piece is being cast down on high upon you with some really neat content. And it's got this great brand that is just featuring you. You're so excited you can't sleep. You're telling all of your friends. You're bragging about it on the golf course, all that fun stuff. Okay. And by the way, it does have maybe a link that goes out to your website. And this is you. This is your website. This is your brand. This is your exciting content. You might have call to actions, etc., etc. But this is you. This is your company. This is your page. And they have a link from it to yours. Okay? Now, what used to be so is once this brand, just keep this simple, right? This brand may have like a gazillion users, okay, compared to your, 100. This brand has a huge amount of dominance, right, in terms of its potential traffic to you. And let's say even this article that is featured on this has some really great potential. And it's launched, and you go ahead and say, wow, this is going to be great. Now, what you don't want to do in this, and this is just a general occasion, right? So we haven't even gotten into the specifics about technicals and things like that. What you typically don't want to do is you may want to talk about this wonderful, wonderful page, and ultimately you craft a page that was similar to it. Or at least summarizes it, but you do not want to put this link back to you directly, okay? And what I mean by that is if you think about how you want this to work is if this is a lead acquisition tool and it's coming to your website, right? So they saw this piece. This page here, hopefully, is a page that you've thought about, and you told a great story. You may even have a 360 image about a video on why you want to work with you and things like that on the bottom. Maybe some great call to actions, right? Okay. The last thing you want to do is create, from a user standpoint, to bring them back to some other piece of content that they've already seen. Okay. So at the end of the day, you probably don't. It's going to get really messy. You probably don't want to go ahead and do that if you think about even just the user experience, okay? But if you go ahead and you actually create this link back to that website, traditionally, without doing some coding issues, what you have just done is negated this link, okay? So you do not, generally speaking, want to create a link back to this website. And feel free to disagree with me. Comments are open. Feel free to go ahead and plug away. That's good stuff. I'm all for it, okay? What you may want to do is maybe summarize this article piece content and then maybe offer it as a quick, download or something of that nature in a PDF format or something, but trying to keep the guest on the site. If they want a kind of copy of it to kind of keep that around because maybe there was some really great content in here, by all means, go for it. Give the guest the opportunity to get that content piece in a way that allows them to see it. Put the source and the source code, the source in there, right? So you can just basically, it's like a book report, you're citing the source. But in that, create a PDF piece of this specific piece that they can go ahead and click and it downloads on their system. It knows how there's no link back, right? So that's kind of the overall concept here. Okay, before you start asking for the link back to the website, it's not, one, it's likely not going to do any good from a user standpoint, but two, from an SEO standpoint, it's you're actually canceling, even if this link has value, we'll get into that in just a minute, you're canceling that out. So that's the first thing, okay, that you need to be aware of. Second thing, this is called reciprocal linking, right? When I link out here and it comes back, okay, to the same site. So I'm sharing that love. And there's some tools like SEMrush and things like that that kind of help you identify some of this. But I'm going to give you kind of a couple quick tips. The question is whether or not this is even acceptable, right? If this is a good thing, okay? Because it used to be a way to actually go ahead and build a massive amount of traffic, potentially, at the search engine called inbound. It's called linking, right? So I find some really great websites out there that have talk about my brand. I can go ahead and buy links to it, and then they sell those links off to me. Google's really good at finding that stuff, which is why it's kind of, it's not black hat SEO, but the question is whether or not it has any involvement, so a benefit. So we're going to talk about this in just a minute. So I started to do some research on this because I had really 2 clients that had this last week. So I do a little bit of research on it. So Ahrefs, Tim Solo, all right, who is their CMO, we mentioned Chief Marketing Officer, I'm guessing, said that 26.4%, and they did a study of 140,000 domains. 26% in that sample had no reciprocal links, meaning the link came out, came back, right? But 73% do, 74% do. So it tells you something, right? So I'm kind of sniffing out some of the data here. 27.4% of the sites studied have 1/3 or have at least 15% overlap between the sites to which they link out and the sites that come back to them, okay? Of the top pages in Google, 43%, almost 44%, of the 112,000 they looked at top rankings pages had reciprocal links. So basically the net is this. Half of them have reciprocal links and half of them don't. That's pretty much the way I'm looking at that, guys. And that's in the top page of Google, at top search engine results pages or search page. So I'm actually going to show you what this kind of looks like in terms of the link that may be appearing here. So I'm going to put link just for fun. So you guys can actually see what that looks like. Your SEO team probably already knows about this. I typically don't show my show notes, but I'm going to do it this morning because I feel like it. It's just easier for me because I copied and pasted the links in there for you. So don't get scared, top brass people. This is just a little bit of code. So no worries, not complicated here. But here's the examples, right? So this would be a normal link, okay? When you go ahead and you do a view source, a lot of times you can right click for us, PC users, right click view source, you can see these links. So link is simply href equals, and then it's got this link, which you guys, if you've seen the top of the page or something, you can actually see that there. And then whatever copy is there, so like it's click here, or if it's a brand name or something of that nature, usually it'll say click here, something of that nature. You can put whatever you want in there, it'll show up. So in this case here, this is just an example.com link, real complicated, right? With the actual anchor text. So this would be, again, click here for the sale, whatever the case may be. Call now, whatever. No follow looks a little different. It's got, right after that, you see this, real complicated, right? I know this is very difficult and confusing, but it's important, by the way. Being sarcastic if you caught the difficult and confusing part. Rel, relationship maybe, I don't know what that means, equals no follow. So basically it says, Google, hey, when you come across this link, don't follow it. Don't follow it. There's also other code, and I don't think we put it in here, by the way. You might see like a no referral, which means don't actually show the traffic analytics coming from this to this new site. So all that's kind of in this article piece, this link here. And I'm going to share with you where it affects these two specific clients, because one has it, one doesn't, by the way. So you want to make sure you're looking at that. If it says no follow, there's very little value in it, other than to use it as promotional stuff on your website, guys. So like in one of these cases, we had a very big, it was the financial advisor firm. Great article, very well-known brand in their finance section, has no follow and no referral. So we're not seeing any traffic come through even on our website analytics. So again, there's really not too much harm. The thing we're going to be doing is taking that advisor's website and making it a big deal, right? So we can feature that. It provides a sense of authority. We've gotten some visibility and published on this specific media company's website, which is really good, very notable. So we're gonna, from a marketing standpoint, we're gonna feature that on our website, right? And we're gonna kind of make it a big deal, right? As providing kind of authority, right? It's been featured on. So if we click that link back out and send it back out to that brand, it's not a big deal. It does more for us to kind of tout that. We may even have a separate we will have a separate landing page kind of featuring that. Plus it's gonna end up in the rotator and a couple teasers on the site, showing that piece of content and just how notable that is. So that's a good thing. No follows can also be in the header as well. So some directory sites have this, right, where basically any exterior link coming out is a no follow. So does it matter if they have this no follow in the actual anchor, the actual code itself, the source code itself? It pays off across the site. So the best way to do that is simply to go a right click on view source, right click on the browser screen, do a view source, and then just do a quick search for no follow, and you'll see it. And now with just a little bit of information, you're able to say, wow, you know what? It allows me to figure out which side, which funnel I'm going to go down, right? A couple of exceptions to that we want to talk about here. So I want to talk a little bit about buying and selling links. So Google has had a policy in place for a very long time. You can't buy links, okay? That's why you see a lot of publishers do the no follow kind of situation. It's making it very clear that they're not selling the links out to anybody, right? So buying or selling links is not good. Link exchanges, again, very popular at one point because Google follows links in order to identify what pages are being, accessed. So they'll send their spiders that way. That's how Google finds new content online. It sends these spiders that basically follow links through the web. and then does computations against it called algorithms and things like that to figure out rankings and what that page is about and all that fun stuff, right? So guest posts with key-rich anchor text links. Okay, again, stop trying to screw with the engines. Just the basic premise I'm going to have here, guys, is to go ahead and just make sure that you're doing good by usability. Automated link building. Come on, seriously? No. It needs to be natural. It needs to look good. It needs to be performance for the guest reading the content. Automated, okay, so do not follow directories. So again, we talked about sites that have basically that. A lot of times directory sites will often have that do not follow in the header, that not follow in the header, preventing any of the links from the outside. It doesn't mean that a link won't go out to you. In fact, directory sites often have that. But in many cases, you're not going to see the traffic from that. And then press releases. Now again, if you're just doing push press releases, that's fantastic on paid sources. I can find a few exceptions to this rule, by the way. I think PR Web kind of functions this way. It still does. In fact, they tout it. So again, and that site's all about press releases. And by the way, we've mentioned PR Web before. It is a really good source to be able to kind of get rankings for keyword stuff and provide some authority to, at least in our experience. So helpful hints. You may see this UGC, which I do not remember what it stands for. User-generated content, sorry. You may want to use that in the comment section of a blog or forum post. Again, if users are doing this stuff, you want Google to kind of know. All you're doing with this is kind of helping Google understand what that content is really about. The sponsor piece, again, for editorials, guest posts, link placements. So again, instead of using it up here where it's, rel equals no follow, you would go ahead and use sponsored. And obviously the no follow will catch you, in which case then that's fine. But try to help Google out a little bit, which brings us back home again. So I'm going to shut this off and we're going to go back to moi, okay? So we have, I hope this makes sense to you. So we have two clients that are doing this. So we'll go down the financial advisor. We already kind of talked a little about that. With the financial advisory firm, this link comes in here, but it's basically a no follow, right, across the gamut. So we are going to use that internally to advertise and promote as something very special, right? It provides that sense of authority and accomplishment because they don't just allow anybody this kind of visibility in the specific media brand, okay? So that is a good thing. So we're gonna probably develop a brand new web page with that. So this content, let's just go ahead and, well, actually this is the model, believe it or not. So again, typically we would have a, so this is you. So typically we would have a very nice, either header image rotator or something of that nature. But we're going to talk about what, why we were featured in this and what the key takeaway points were. And again, this is our website. So we're going to have a nice little header rotator going on in here. We may have a nice call to action with a statement in there. But this content piece is really kind of touting the fact that we've been featured over here, okay? And we're going to have a call to action. We may have that PDF that goes there. We will have the source, but nothing will be linked back out. And as I'm suggesting with every website we build, guys, especially if you have SEO coming on, listen carefully with this. If you have SEO going on, you never know where your guests are coming into. So call to actions are always good. And some of you have your fat footers in here, right? You may have your map, your social media icons, whatever. Okay, but below that, on every single page, have a 360 video. We call them a 360 video because they're the 360 of your company, the whole around thing. Products, services, what makes you different, all that stuff. Have the video content piece there, okay? And what makes you different. Those bullet points are really good because you may have 100 pages of your website and 5 or 6 of those pages are getting real traffic, right? 80% of your stuff. You never know which of those optimized pages people are landing on unless you're looking at your analytics. So the fact is, if you build it right on into every bottom of every page, where you actually have that 360 video and unique value propositions, no matter what content blog they hit or anything of that nature, it's already baked right on into it. Okay, so that's what I'm strongly suggesting either way. So this would be the optimized page going on in terms of that featured content element. And again, just a PDF, source, colon, content, whatever publisher was, date, month, all that fun stuff. Just like you did in school. Don't link it. Fine. That's going to be the advisor company. Okay, so we figured that out. Now, the manufacturing company that does trailers. It came across, again, great website there, a lot of traffic. This is a trade publication that did a feature on it, specifically featuring this company's warranty, which is like the best of the best. Really great stuff. Quotes from the president, CEO, fantastic. Even their top designer, which again is perfect, by the way, for a video, 360 video, because it is what makes them different, unique. So with them, this site over here, it links their brand. In fact, if you go into it, actually has, and I got kind of excited because when I looked, I'm like, dude, it doesn't have a non-referral, but the link itself actually goes to another page in their site. So in this case here, this fantastic article piece, right, has a link that goes out, but it is to a directory site of this brand, okay, because this is a publisher, a trade publication, and they have a directory. So basically this directory, and it's not paid, okay, but it's a directory to this company's basically profile. I want to say profile page, keep it simple, but it's basically a company profile page. Now they do have links in here to some of their products and services to us. So us, right? You guys see that? Yeah, you can. But these links, they're not no follow, but this directory section is a no follow. Okay. So in this case here, once again, and if you think about it, if you were this brand, this publishing company, you really don't want people going off. So they're thinking about SEO too. In fact, it's very obvious they're thinking about SEO. They don't spend a dime in promoting. In fact, they have other partner brands that actually go ahead and promote to drive traffic to them, which is kind of cool. But either way, this content, again, great visibility. This is a no follow. So in this case here, it's going to be very similar again. Is saying, look, we're featured in this. We can promote them this fantastic, awesome page with the content featured here with our PDF, et cetera, et cetera. So again, a lot of these media companies have already thought about this stuff. So I hope that helps you figure out, okay, yes, we've been featured in this really awesome, amazing brand. Instead of dictating the stuff down, if it isn't a no follow, right, and you've checked that out on both sides, would surprise me, by the way. But if that's the case, and these are no follow links directly to your site, do not put the link back. Okay, because remember, I strongly believe that unless there's a extenuating circumstance out there where the user experience would really necessitate coming back to that content piece, or, and again, I'm gonna let's say, for example, user sees this stuff, they go ahead, let's draw this out real quick. They actually do, for whatever reason, and you'll see this in your analytics too, by the way. It's real easy to confirm that this is you. So they take us to this page, our site, which is fantastic. We should still feature that piece. Like, we should still feature that, the fact that we've been seen on this, awesome, website, #1 by whatever. Okay, we can tout that, which is fantastic. The question is, from that user standpoint, is there a value? Maybe there is. Maybe there is. Always think in terms of the customer. Don't just show them the same piece. They're not going to want to see that again. So if, for example, like in this trade publication, there were a couple of other resources that were good, right? That guest who saw the piece featured on you, went to your website, saw some of that content. Now you know or are aware of several pieces of content that this guest may find interest in and be helpful. Okay, I guess I can make that argument, but it's not going to come back to this page, by the way. So no. We're going to go down here. Let's say there's smaller subsection pages on this from this brand site, right? Those are crowns, by the way. And I would still, by the way, I would create, just like in here, your no follow tags, just in case. Unless, again, and again, just keep in mind too, these can open up as no targets, right? So they open up in brand new pages as well. So when the user closes out of this, for example, they see your site yet. They see that page. So make sure that's a no-brainer. You guys need to be doing that. You'd be surprised how many people actually miss that, by the way. Where it opens up in the same browser window. And then the user clicks on it and they go back to their Google screen or whatever it is, as opposed to seeing that page that they were on with you. So where you can do call to actions, if you can do a couple minutes, like if they actually do click on that page and they're on it, the timer is still counting on this, especially if you did the no follow. It opens up a brand new browser. Let's say it takes them 2 minutes to read that and they go ahead and they close that out. When they come back here, let's say that elapsed time was 2 minutes and 5 seconds or something like that. It doesn't take them that long to read that piece. Now there's a popover window with an offer, sign up, register, something of that nature. So a lot of tips, a lot of information that something so simple, right? Just a link. But I hope that helps you guys out. Next week, we will be featuring content and information or how to do outreach emails. This is something, especially with B2Bs, that we see on a regular basis, which can either make or break your company. One of the big rules of salespeople is to make sure that you continue to ask for the sale. This is one we see on a regular basis where it's like, hi, my name is Chris. I sell this. Why don't you buy? It doesn't work well. There's ways of reaching out to people just like you on the other side to where your correspondence doesn't get ignored or flagged as spam. So you do not want to miss that. So thank you very much for attending this morning's 11 a.m. Monday morning marketing webcast. My name is Chris Bernard. We look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place. Have a great one. Thanks so much. Take care and have a great